I've been investing for over 15 years now, and I've made plenty of mistakes along the way. But if I had to start over today with no experience, here's exactly what I would do. First, I would choose the right investment account. This is where your investments live. It's where you buy and sell stocks or different funds, and you have a lot of options over here. Roth IRA, 401k, HSA, a regular brokerage account, and so on. There are many options. Which one do you pick? Well, I want you to think carefully here, and the reason I want you to really think about this before opening an account and putting your money in it is simple: tax efficiency. The goal is not just to save on taxes this year or the next year. The goal should be to pay the least amount of taxes over your entire lifetime. So where you put your money matters a lot. Let's talk about the 401k first. This is where I would start. Most jobs offer a 401k match, so if you put 2% of your paycheck, your job might add another 2% for a total of 4%. That's free money. So if your job offers a 401k match, take it. Don't leave money on the table. It's free money, but it's also part of your compensation. So as an example, let's say you put $200 in your 401k and your employer matches that for another $200 for a total of $400. Now, after you get the match, let's say you still have money left over, and you're thinking, what account do I prioritize next? There are two main types of accounts: pre-tax accounts and post-tax accounts. Pre-tax means you don't pay taxes right now, but you will pay taxes later on when you take money out in retirement. 401k and your traditional IRA are pre-tax accounts. You don't pay taxes right now. Post-tax means you pay tax right now, but you don't pay taxes when you take money out in retirement. Roth 401k and Roth IRAs are post-tax accounts. So, how do you choose? If you're making good money right now, let's say you're in your peak earning years and you're in the 32% tax bracket, it makes a lot of sense to use pre-tax accounts like a traditional 401k. And here's why. When you put money into a 401k, you don't pay taxes on it today. You're deferring those taxes. And later, when you take money out in retirement, your income will likely drop. For most people, their income drops in retirement. So let's say you drop into the 22% tax bracket. Now, when you take money out of your 401k, you're paying taxes at 22% instead of 32%. That's a 10% saving on every dollar that you put in. I call that a win. But if you're a young professional, let's say you're starting out and making around, let's say $50,000 per year, you're likely in the 22% federal tax bracket. In that case, it can make a lot of sense to prioritize your Roth 401k or your Roth IRA. Why? Because you're paying taxes right now at a relatively low income tax rate. And there's a good chance that your income will likely go up. That means you could be in a higher tax bracket later on. Then your money grows tax-free and you don't pay taxes when you take it out in retirement. You also don't have to worry about how the future tax laws might look like. You've already paid your taxes, you're done with it. So a Roth IRA or Roth 401k makes a lot of sense over here. Okay, so let's say you start with a 401k match and then you move down to line 2 and you still have money left over. Where do you invest next? A health savings account or an HSA offers the best tax advantage of any investment account. It gives you a triple tax saving, something you won't see anywhere else. You don't pay taxes on the money that you put in, then your investments grow tax-free without being taxed, and the best part, your withdrawals are tax-free if used for qualified medical expenses. That's a very powerful combo. However, the money has to be used for medical expenses. If you withdraw it for non-medical expenses before age 65, you will pay income taxes plus a penalty. So, here's how I see it. If you're healthy and you don't have any medical bills right now, an HSA could come third in the investing order. But if you have regular medical bills, the HSA could move to second right after the 401k match. Alright, so now you know which accounts to prioritize. The next question is, what do you invest in? If you're a 401k, you will likely see a bunch of options that look like this. It can be really confusing. One easy option is a target date fund. Let's say you're 25 years old and you want to retire at 65. You can pick a 2065 target date fund. These funds do all the work for you. They change over time and get safer as you get older. You don't have to do any work. So if you just want something simple, this is a great choice. But if you're like me and you want more control, you might choose something else. I like growth funds. Your age matters a lot too. If you're in your 20s, 30s, or even in your 40s, growth funds can be a good option. But whatever you pick, always check two things. What is the fund holding and how much are you paying in fees? This is also called the expense ratio. As an example, I open the fund details over here and I can see exactly what the fund is investing in. I can also see that the fee is 0.9%. That's a bit on the higher side. Lower is obviously better, but now I know what I own and what I'm paying. You can also look at how the fund has performed in the past. That can be helpful as well. As you get older, you can always change your investments to be more safe or a bit conservative. But again, if you don't know what you're doing yet and you just want to pick something simple, pick a target date based fund. Now let's move to an IRA or an HSA. Unlike the 401k and the Roth 401k, these accounts give you a lot more flexibility. In these accounts, you can buy almost anything: stocks, index funds, growth funds, you name it. And if you followed me for a while, you know that I like to keep things simple. And I really like the S&P 500. That's where I keep most of my investing money. Here's my investing portfolio outside of my 401k. 50% is in VOO, which tracks the S&P 500. 20% is in VUG, which is a growth fund. That's a bulk of my investing dollar. I keep it simple, and it has worked really well for me in the past. I have a full video on this if you want to check that out. But you can also pick individual stocks. The thing about picking individual stocks is that they're incredibly difficult to get right. Even professionals struggle with picking stocks. So I stick to index funds, and I encourage you to do the same. Alright, so now you know what accounts to use. You also know what to invest in. What is next? Next, you set it up on autopilot. This means you set up automatic contributions. It could look something like this. $200 goes into your 401k for the match, $500 goes into your Roth IRA, and then $100 in your HSA. That's $800 a month going towards your future. Your savings are now on autopilot. And if you plug these numbers into a compound interest calculator, you could end up with over $1.5 million after 30 years. Of course, the number can change a lot. If you invest more, obviously you will have more. If you invest less, or if you stop early, it could be a lot lower. The key, however, is to stay consistent week after week and month after month. That's how you build wealth. Now, you probably noticed that the toughest part in all of this is picking the right account, because once again, the goal is to pay the least amount of taxes over your entire lifetime, not just less taxes this year or the next year. And that part is tricky. Why? Because you don't know how much you'll be making 5 years from now. You also don't know how the tax brackets will look like in the future. That's why the best thing to do is play with the cards that are in front of you right now. Make the best decision based on the information that you have right now. And here's something that I do with my personal finances. It's not a bad idea to have both types of accounts, pre-tax and post-tax. That way you're tax diversified, and that gives you a lot of choices later on. One last thing, accounts like the 401k, IRA, and HSA have rules. You can only put in so much money each year. Most don't let you take money out before you're older, usually 59 and a half. That's where the regular brokerage account comes in. If you've already put the maximum into your retirement accounts and you still have extra money left over, this is where it can go. It does not give you any tax breaks, but it is super flexible. You can put in as much money as you want, you can take money out at any time, and you can spend money on anything. No limits, no rules. This account is also great if you want to retire early. Let's say you stop working at age 50 and you can't touch your 401k or your IRA until 59 and a half. So what do you do in the meantime? That's where the brokerage account can help. You can use it to fill in the gap. A lot of early retiree folks use this account for the flexibility. I have this account as well, but I just make sure that I max out the other retirement accounts first, but I keep this one as well for the flexibility just in case I need it. A disclaimer, retirement accounts have income limits, age limits, and other rules that must be followed if you don't want to get in trouble with the IRS.